Wisdom seekers, have you ever felt that the greatest battle you'll ever face is the one within yourself? That beneath the noise of the world and the chaos of daily life lies a quiet voice urging you towards something greater? That voice is the call to mastery, the most profound and transformative journey of your life. For centuries, humanity has sought answers to the same questions. How can we rise above our fears, desires, and doubts? How can we shape ourselves into beings of strength, wisdom, and purpose? These questions have been asked by kings and warriors, philosophers and poets, and their answers are woven into the fabric of an ancient philosophy. Stoicism. Stoicism isn't just a relic of the past, it's a manual for the human condition. It teaches us that life's greatest power doesn't lie in wealth, fame, or conquest. It lies in mastering the self, in forging a mind that remains unshaken by adversity and a spirit that is unyielding in its pursuit of virtue. As the great Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Today, I want to share with you 10 habits that can help you achieve this mastery. These aren't mere routines or fleeting practices. They are pillars of resilience and clarity, principles that can transform your life if you truly commit to them. This is not a journey for the faint-hearted. It's a path that requires reflection, effort, and courage. But I promise you this, if you walk it, you will discover a strength within yourself that you never imagined possible. So, wisdom seekers, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Every like, subscribe, helps us continue our mission of sharing knowledge. Are you ready to take the first step toward mastering yourself? Let's get started. Habit 1. Cultivate the discipline of deliberate action. Imagine for a moment that your life is a canvas. Each action you take is a brushstroke, every decision a splash of color. How vibrant or dull the masterpiece becomes depends entirely on the intent behind each stroke. The discipline of deliberate action begins with this realization, that life is shaped not by what happens to us, but by how we choose to act in response. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who rose from slavery to become one of the most profound thinkers in history, said, "First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." These words aren't merely philosophical musings. They are a challenge to live consciously, to act with purpose, rather than drifting through life like a leaf carried by the wind. But what does deliberate action look like in practice? It begins with clarity. Start each day by asking yourself, what truly matters? What values will guide my decisions today? For example, if your goal is to build a stronger relationship with a loved one, every action you take should reflect that intention. It could be as simple as setting aside time to listen deeply, or as significant as making a long overdue apology. The beauty of deliberate action is that it transcends circumstances. You may not control the demands of your job, the unpredictability of traffic, or the behavior of others. But you control your actions, how you show up, what you choose to prioritize, and the energy you bring to each moment. This habit demands vigilance. It's about consistently aligning your actions with your highest values, even when it's inconvenient or difficult. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, exemplified this principle during the most challenging times of his reign. As Rome faced plagues, wars, and political upheaval, Marcus refused to be consumed by despair or anger. Instead, he focused on the next right action, no matter how small. "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one," he wrote in Meditations. To master this habit, practice mindfulness. Before reacting impulsively, pause and ask yourself, is this action aligned with who I want to be? This small moment of reflection can redirect you from regretful decisions to purposeful ones. Deliberate action doesn't mean perfection. It means intentionality. It means recognizing that each day offers countless opportunities to craft the story of your life, one decision at a time. Habit 2. Develop the art of inner stillness. In a world that never stops moving, where notifications buzz relentlessly and distractions pull us in every direction, inner stillness may seem like a distant dream. Yet it is one of the most vital habits for self-mastery. Inner stillness is not the absence of movement or sound. It is the quiet strength that allows you to remain unshaken amidst chaos. The Stoics referred to this as ataraxia, a state of imperturbable calm. Seneca, one of the great Roman Stoics, wrote, True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. Inner stillness is the ability to ground yourself in the present moment, free from the turmoil of what-ifs and could-have-beens. How do you cultivate this stillness? Start by creating space for reflection. Dedicate time each day to step away from the noise, turn off your phone, close your laptop, and sit in silence. Use this time to observe your thoughts without judgment. Notice the emotions that arise and the stories your mind tells you. This practice, often called mindfulness or meditation, helps you build the mental muscle of awareness. But stillness is not just about meditation. It's a way of being. It's about learning to respond rather than react. Imagine someone cutting you off in traffic. The immediate reaction might be anger or frustration. But inner stillness allows you to pause, recognize the insignificance of the event, and let it go. It's not about suppressing emotions, but choosing which emotions deserve your energy. Inner stillness also involves simplifying your life. Look at your commitments and ask yourself, are these truly serving me? Often we fill our days with activities that drain our energy without adding meaning. By saying no to the unnecessary, you create room for what truly matters. The great Stoic teacher Epictetus advised, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." Inner stillness requires humility, the willingness to question your assumptions and remain open to growth. It's not about having all the answers, but about finding peace in the process of seeking them. This habit, like a still lake, reflects who you truly are when the surface is undisturbed. Master it, and you'll find a clarity and strength that no external storm can shake. Habit 3. Embrace the power of delayed gratification. In a culture of instant gratification, where everything from food to entertainment is just a tap away, patience has become a rare virtue. Yet, delayed gratification, the ability to resist immediate rewards in favor of greater long-term benefits, is a cornerstone of self-mastery. Think of this habit as planting a seed. The joy of gardening isn't in watching the seed sprout instantly, but in nurturing it over time, knowing it will one day bear fruit. Similarly, mastering delayed gratification means understanding that the best things in life require patience and effort. This principle is at the heart of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes not from fleeting pleasures, but from living in alignment with virtue and wisdom. If you want something good, get it from yourself, Epictetus said. The message is clear. Seek fulfillment not in external comforts, but in the strength of your character. Practicing delayed gratification begins with setting meaningful goals. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? Whether it's physical health, financial freedom, or personal growth, define your objective clearly. Then, identify the daily actions required to achieve it and commit to them, even when they're challenging or inconvenient. The most difficult part of delayed gratification is enduring the discomfort of waiting. Our brains are wired to seek immediate pleasure, which is why resisting temptation feels so unnatural. But each time you choose discipline over indulgence, you strengthen your willpower. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Seneca observed that difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Embracing discomfort, whether it's sticking to a workout routine or saving money instead of spending it, is a sign of mental resilience. It's a reminder that you are in control of your desires, not the other way around. Delayed gratification also fosters a sense of gratitude. When you work hard for something and finally achieve it, the reward is far sweeter than anything obtained easily. It reminds you to appreciate the journey, not just the destination. In mastering this habit, remember, you are not depriving yourself, you are investing in your future self. Each small act of discipline compounds over time, building a life of purpose, fulfillment, and self-respect. Habit 4. Practice radical self-accountability. Imagine a world where every success and failure in your life is entirely your responsibility. No blaming circumstances, no pointing fingers at others, just a steadfast acceptance of your role in shaping your destiny. This is the essence of radical self-accountability, a habit that separates those who drift through life from those who master themselves. Self-accountability is not about self-blame or harsh criticism. Instead, it's about recognizing that while you may not control what happens to you, you always control your response. Epictetus taught this through his famous dichotomy of control, Some things are up to us and some things are not. Radical self-accountability focuses entirely on the former, on taking ownership of your thoughts, actions, and choices. To develop this habit, start by examining your daily life with brutal honesty. Are you meeting your commitments? Are you living in alignment with your values? When something goes wrong, is your first instinct to look inward or to seek an external cause? The Stoics believe that blaming others for your misfortunes is not only futile, but a sign of weakness. Instead, they urged individuals to ask themselves, what can I do differently next time? Accountability is a practice of self-reflection. Take time each evening to review your day. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, often reflected on his actions, questioning whether he had lived according to his principles. This nightly ritual isn't about dwelling on mistakes, but about learning from them. Ask yourself, did I act with integrity? Did I give my best effort? What could I improve tomorrow? Self-accountability also requires humility, the willingness to admit when you've fallen short. It's easy to rationalize our failures or shift blame onto others, but growth begins when you acknowledge your role in the outcome. As Seneca said, a man is as unhappy as he has convinced himself he is. By taking responsibility for your mindset and actions, you reclaim your power to change your circumstances. This habit extends beyond personal growth. It strengthens relationships. When you take responsibility for your mistakes, you build trust and respect. Imagine apologizing to a friend or colleague, not with excuses, but with sincerity and a commitment to do better. This level of accountability is rare, but it sets you apart as someone who values integrity over ego. Radical self-accountability isn't easy. It requires you to confront uncomfortable truths and take action to correct them. But it is also deeply empowering. When you stop waiting for others to fix your life and start taking ownership, you become the architect of your future. Habit 5. Harness the strength of resilience. Resilience is the art of enduring life's challenges without breaking. It's the inner fortitude that allows you to rise after every fall, stronger and wiser than before. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Resilience transforms obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into stepping stones. To cultivate resilience, begin by redefining failure. The Stoics believed that adversity is not an enemy, but a teacher. When something doesn't go as planned, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? Viewing challenges as opportunities for growth shifts your mindset from victimhood to empowerment. Another key to resilience is adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and rigid expectations often lead to disappointment. Instead of clinging to how things should be, practice acceptance. Epictetus reminds us, don't seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish for them to happen as they do, and you will have peace. This doesn't mean passivity, but learning to work with circumstances rather than against them. Resilience also requires self-care. You can't endure life's trials if you neglect your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Sleep, nutrition, exercise, and moments of joy are not luxuries. They are necessities for maintaining your strength. Think of resilience as a fire that must be tended. Without fuel, it will burn out. Building resilience involves cultivating a sense of perspective. When faced with a challenge, step back and ask yourself, will this matter in a year? In 5 years? Often we become overwhelmed by problems that are temporary or insignificant in the grand scheme of life. By seeing the bigger picture, you can face difficulties with a sense of calm. The Stoics also taught the importance of focusing on what you can control. During times of crisis, this principle becomes a lifeline. Instead of worrying about the things outside your influence, channel your energy into productive actions. For example, if you lose a job, you can't control the economy, but you can update your skills, network, and search for new opportunities. Resilience isn't about avoiding hardship. It's about becoming the kind of person who can face it with courage and grace. Each time you overcome a challenge, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you imagined. And with each victory, your resilience grows stronger. Habit 6. Nurture the habit of intentional solitude. In a world that glorifies busyness and constant connection, solitude has become a lost art. Yet intentional solitude, the deliberate practice of being alone with your thoughts, is one of the most powerful habits for mastering yourself. It is in solitude that you can reflect, recharge, and reconnect with your true self. The Stoics valued solitude not as an escape, but as a means of gaining clarity. Marcus Aurelius often withdrew into himself, even amidst the chaos of ruling an empire. "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul," he wrote. Solitude, for the Stoics, was a sacred time to align their thoughts and actions with their principles. To practice intentional solitude, start by setting aside time each day to disconnect from the outside world. This isn't about isolating yourself, but creating space for introspection. During this time, ask yourself, what is truly important to me? Am I living according to my values? Solitude allows you to strip away distractions and focus on what matters most. In solitude, you can confront your fears, desires, and doubts without judgment. This self-examination is essential for growth. As Seneca observed, a person who is brave enough to admit their faults is strong enough to conquer them. Solitude creates the mental stillness needed for this courage to emerge. Intentional solitude also fosters creativity and problem-solving. Without the constant noise of external input, your mind has the freedom to explore new ideas and perspectives. Many of history's greatest thinkers, from Einstein to Thoreau, credited their breakthroughs to periods of solitude. But solitude isn't just about thinking, it's also about being. Spending time in nature, for instance, can reconnect you with the rhythms of life and remind you of your place in the universe. This sense of awe and humility is deeply grounding. Modern life often equates solitude with loneliness, but they are not the same. Loneliness is a lack of connection. Solitude is a choice to connect with yourself. It's in these quiet moments that you discover your inner strength and wisdom. When practiced intentionally, solitude becomes a refuge, a place where you can recharge, reflect, and realign. It is not a withdrawal from life, but a preparation to engage with it more fully and authentically. By embracing solitude, you learn to be your own companion, your own guide, and your own source of peace. Habit 7. Master the practice of emotional regulation. Emotions are a powerful force. They can drive us to acts of great courage and compassion, or they can consume us with anger, fear, or despair. To master yourself, you must learn to master your emotions, not by suppressing or denying them, but by understanding and regulating them. This is the essence of emotional regulation, a habit that allows you to remain steady amidst life's highs and lows. The Stoics recognized the transformative power of emotional control. They didn't advocate for the absence of emotion, but for the ability to choose how emotions influence our actions. As Seneca wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." This insight reveals a fundamental truth. Much of our emotional turmoil stems from our perceptions rather than the events themselves. Emotional regulation begins with awareness. Before you can manage your emotions, you must recognize them. This requires cultivating mindfulness, a practice of observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment. For example, if you feel anger rising, pause and ask yourself, "Why am I angry? Is this reaction justified?" By naming your emotion and understanding its source, you create a space between stimulus and response. Once you're aware of your emotions, the next step is reframing your perspective. The Stoics taught that our interpretations shape our reality. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been." This principle is about reframing challenges as opportunities for growth. Instead of viewing a setback as a failure, see it as a chance to learn resilience. Breath control is another powerful tool for emotional regulation. When emotions like anger or anxiety threaten to overwhelm you, take a few deep, deliberate breaths. This simple act signals your nervous system to calm down, giving you the clarity to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Journaling can also help you process your emotions. Writing down your thoughts provides a safe outlet for expression and helps you identify patterns in your emotional responses. Over time, you'll gain a deeper understanding of your triggers and how to manage them effectively. Emotional regulation is not about being emotionless. It's about becoming the master of your emotions rather than their servant. When you cultivate this habit, you gain the ability to remain calm under pressure, to navigate conflict with grace, and to approach life's challenges with courage. In doing so, you embody the Stoic ideal of tranquility, a state of inner peace that no external force can disturb. Habit 8. Build the habit of continuous learning. To master yourself, you must first recognize that mastery is a journey, not a destination. Continuous learning, the relentless pursuit of knowledge and growth, is a habit that ensures you never stagnate but continually evolve into the best version of yourself. The Stoics held learning in the highest regard, believing that wisdom is the key to a virtuous life. Epictetus advised, "It is impossible to begin to learn that which one thinks one already knows." This humility, the acknowledgement that there is always more to learn, is the foundation of continuous learning. Start by cultivating curiosity. Approach the world with the mindset of a student, eager to uncover new insights and perspectives. Read widely, not just within your comfort zone, but across disciplines and cultures. The more diverse your sources of knowledge, the richer your understanding becomes. For instance, a philosophy book may teach you about ethics, while a biography could offer lessons in resilience. Set aside dedicated time each day for learning. This could involve reading, listening to podcasts, watching educational videos, or engaging in meaningful conversations. The key is consistency. Even 30 minutes a day adds up to significant growth over time. Reflect on what you learn. It's not enough to consume information, you must integrate it into your life. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the teachings of other philosophers, writing down his thoughts and meditations. Similarly, you can use a journal to explore how new knowledge applies to your values and goals. Continuous learning isn't limited to acquiring new information. It's also about unlearning harmful beliefs and habits. Question your assumptions and challenge your biases. This process requires courage and humility, but it's essential for growth. As Socrates famously said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." Seek out mentors and communities that inspire you to grow. Surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals who value learning creates an environment that encourages growth. Whether it's a book club, an online forum, or a personal mentor, these connections can provide valuable insights and support. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of learning from experience. Life itself is a teacher, offering lessons in every challenge and triumph. Pay attention to these lessons and apply them to your future decisions. Each mistake becomes an opportunity to grow, and each success a stepping stone to greater wisdom. Continuous learning is a lifelong commitment, but it is one of the most rewarding habits you can develop. It keeps your mind sharp, your spirit curious, and your potential limitless. With this habit, you embody the Stoic principle of self-improvement, always striving to live more wisely and virtuously. Habit 9. Cultivate the strength of gratitude. Gratitude is one of the simplest yet most profound habits for mastering yourself. It shifts your focus from what is lacking in your life to the abundance that already exists, fostering a mindset of contentment and resilience. In the words of Seneca, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." The practice of gratitude begins with awareness. Each day, take a moment to reflect on what you are grateful for. This could be as simple as the warmth of the sun on your skin, the support of a friend, or the opportunity to learn something new. By acknowledging these blessings, you train your mind to focus on the positive aspects of your life. Gratitude is not about ignoring life's challenges, but about finding silver linings within them. The Stoics often practiced a technique called negative visualization, imagining the loss of things they held dear to appreciate them more deeply. For example, consider how different your life would be without a loved one or a cherished skill. This exercise helps you recognize the value of what you have while fostering resilience in the face of loss. Expressing gratitude amplifies its impact. Take the time to thank the people who contribute to your life, whether it's a mentor, a family member, or a colleague. A heartfelt thank you strengthens relationships and spreads positivity. Gratitude, when shared, becomes a ripple that can uplift others. Gratitude also deepens your sense of perspective. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, you realize how much of life's joy comes from simple things. This shift in mindset reduces envy and dissatisfaction, helping you find contentment in the present moment. But gratitude isn't just an emotion, it's an action. Live in a way that reflects your appreciation for life's blessings. This might mean giving back to your community, mentoring someone, or simply being fully present with those you care about. Gratitude, when practiced consistently, transforms your outlook and strengthens your character. In the pursuit of self-mastery, gratitude is a powerful ally. It keeps you grounded in the present, strengthens your resilience, and fosters a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. With gratitude as your guide, you can navigate life's challenges with grace and gratitude. Habit 10. Embrace the discipline of purposeful action. The final habit, and perhaps the most transformative, is embracing the discipline of purposeful action. To master yourself, you must master the art of doing, not just aimlessly, but with intention, focus, and alignment with your highest values. Purposeful action is the habit that brings all others to life, turning reflection into reality and potential into progress. The Stoics emphasized the importance of action as the ultimate expression of wisdom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." This call to action reminds us that knowing the right path is meaningless unless we have the courage and discipline to walk it. To cultivate this habit, start by clarifying your purpose. What drives you? What do you want to contribute to the world? Your purpose doesn't have to be grand or world-changing. It simply needs to be authentic. Whether it's raising a family, creating art, or solving a complex problem, knowing your why gives your actions meaning and direction. Once your purpose is clear, focus on aligning your actions with your values. This requires self-discipline, the ability to prioritize long-term fulfillment over short-term gratification. Epictetus reminded us, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom, in the Stoic sense, comes from choosing actions that serve your goals, rather than being enslaved by impulses or distractions. Breaking down your goals into small, manageable steps is essential for purposeful action. Large tasks can feel overwhelming, but when divided into smaller parts, they become achievable. Each completed step builds momentum and confidence, reinforcing the habit of action. Equally important is the practice of finishing what you start. Many people begin projects with enthusiasm, but abandon them at the first sign of difficulty. Purposeful action requires perseverance, the commitment to see things through, even when the initial excitement fades. As Seneca observed, it is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult. Purposeful action also involves the courage to take risks and embrace failure as a teacher. Fear of failure often paralyzes us, but inaction is the greatest failure of all. Each misstep provides valuable lessons and brings you closer to mastery. Remember, progress is not a straight line. It's a series of trials, errors, and refinements. Another cornerstone of purposeful action is mindfulness. Fully engage with whatever you are doing, whether it's a small task or a significant endeavor. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Do every act of your life as though it were the very last act of your life." This mindset transforms even mundane activities into opportunities for excellence. Finally, purposeful action requires balance. It's easy to equate busyness with productivity, but true mastery involves prioritizing what matters most. Learn to say no to distractions and yes to what aligns with your purpose. Quality over quantity is the hallmark of effective action. When you make purposeful action a habit, you embody the Stoic principle of living in accordance with nature, acting in harmony with your values, your potential, and the greater good. This habit is the culmination of all others, a way of life that transforms intention into impact and dreams into reality. Final thoughts. The journey to mastery. Mastering yourself is a lifelong endeavor, a path marked by continuous growth, reflection, and discipline. The 10 habits we've explored, mindfulness, prioritizing virtues, cultivating focus, practicing self-accountability, building resilience, nurturing solitude, regulating emotions, pursuing learning, fostering gratitude, and embracing purposeful action, are not quick fixes but enduring practices. As you embark on this journey, remember that self-mastery is not about perfection but progress. Even the Stoics, whose wisdom we revere, were human. They stumbled, faltered, and faced doubts. What set them apart was their commitment to improvement, their willingness to learn from failure, and their unwavering pursuit of virtue. You will encounter setbacks. Life will challenge your resolve, but every challenge is an opportunity to apply these habits and grow stronger. Each moment is a chance to begin anew, to take one more step toward becoming the person you aspire to be. Let the words of Marcus Aurelius guide you. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Obstacles are not barriers but stepping stones, shaping you into a person of resilience, wisdom, and purpose. To my fellow wisdom seekers, this journey is yours to embrace. Start with one habit, integrate it into your daily life, and build from there. The path to self-mastery is not about leaps, but steady, consistent steps. Over time, you will transform, not just your actions, but your mindset, your relationships, and your experience of life itself. The world needs people who have mastered themselves, who act with integrity, think with clarity, and lead with purpose. By cultivating these habits, you not only elevate your own life, but inspire others to do the same. The ripple effect of your growth is immeasurable, so begin today. Embrace the habits, live the principles, and walk the path of mastery. The journey is yours, and the potential within you is limitless.